Hi YouTube, how you all going? Just thought I'd do another video update on silver, seeing it has been a while since I last did my video on silver. As you may know, I've just, a couple of days back I did one on gold and said that, perhaps it was heading higher now that it's broken out of that, upper band of the long running uptrend channel that's been in place for a number of years. Um, and silver has pretty much followed suit over the last couple of days with some strong up moves here. You can see that if we go back to this strong reversal day, after that anything around 30 up to $32 is fairly well supported, and it's only been in the last 5 or 6 sessions that we've been able to breach this previous line of support and resistance that stretches back, all the way to these lows back here, and was respected again in June, late June. So in terms of where silver heads to next, I would say that this line around $33 will act as some, fairly good support. I was surprised that we didn't even pause, when we had this sharp sell-off at $33. We just broke right through it. But now that we've poked our heads back above, I would say that, and as long as the moves are more sustainable and we don't have these massive, volatile, either up thrusts or down thrusts, I would say that $33 should be a fairly good floor for the time being. And in terms of where we go to next, or moving higher, it's very hard to get super bullish until we break above this level here at $39. Because you can see that again, anything around $39 was fairly, well, anything higher than that was rejected on a number of occasions before we did break higher. So we could either, there's a couple of scenarios. We could just bob around $33 to $39 for quite some time, which would, I guess, be classified as an accumulation phase where people can just, buy every couple of weeks, at a fairly stable price. And I think the long term, or the medium to long term view of silver is obviously going to be very closely related to gold. If we do see a very big or sustainable push from gold up to the previous highs around 1900, and even further to that $2,000 an ounce mark, then yes, I would say that silver has a good chance of following suit. So I think at this point in time, it you're almost better off watching the gold chart just to kind of get an idea of what's happening, and then applying your thoughts and reasoning behind that into silver as well, because I do think for the time being they're going to be following each other, lockstep, one for one basically. Obviously, you get greater leverage out of silver. It does tend to have stronger moves, but in the general sense of whether it's going up or down, I do think you got to be on the ball with gold, and watching what's going on there. And I mean, just even a word of caution: once we break above this level here around $39, I still think silver's going to be very volatile. We've seen here before that, even though it kind of re-entered this channel that's been in place for quite some time, poked below it here, but pretty much stayed within it. It was very quick to break out to the downside. It didn't muck around at all. It was a straight down. $10 odd drop. In 2 days there, from 40 down to 30, the intraday low there. And even if silver is to kind of regain its composure and move up in a steady rate, I'd be looking, from a very, much longer term view, even once if it is able to re-enter this trend, if you just extend these lines out, and, silver eventually makes its way back into that channel, maybe 2, 3 months down the track, I'd be looking at it, looking for it to really hit the upper band, the lower band, and then bounce again before I could say with any degree of certainty that this channel is going to be respected. So silver is a bit of a confusing one at this point in time. As I said, I do think it is pretty much worthwhile just watching gold, and then that will give you a general idea of if silver's going to be going up or down. And then certainly if you want to gain leverage in the precious metals market, then silver will certainly be, or should, if past histories prove correct, provide you with a larger percentage gain relative to gold, at least in the short term. Anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts. So a little bit clouded on silver. Watch gold, see what happens, and I'll certainly keep you updated.